Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bridget and I'm an artist and art educator. This video will walk you through the steps to create a landscape painting as well as show you different types of brushstrokes. This is the type of paper that I'm painting on. Using a synthetic round brush, I'm using a classic brushstroke just to get that paint on the paper. And this is the background layer, the layer that is furthest away. It goes down first so everything can be painted on top of it. The key to painting a straight line is to be confident. Not too fast that it's crooked and not too slow that it's all wavy. You want to strike a nice balance. And if you're super particular about a nice, clean, straight edge, put down a piece of tape and then you can paint along that. I've gotten the bulk of the paint off my brush at this point, and I'm using the excess just to fan upwards. By going back and forth and up and down, I'm creating a nice gradient. After the bulk of my cloud shape is down, I'm going in with some highlights while the paint is still wet. That way it's easier to blend. For these wispier clouds, I'm using less paint, and I'm not being too particular with the shape. I want the clouds to look natural. You'll notice that I'm using my brush on its side. I'm taking full advantage of its round shape with its tip, so that way I can create those very small pointed edges of the cloud as well as the fluffier body of the cloud. And around the edges of the cloud where it blends into the sky, I use less paint so that way the sky color can come through. And with most of the paint off of my brush by now, I'm just going along the edges of the cloud to fluff them out a little bit, to blend them into the background sky so that way they look more natural and less cartoon-like. Here you can see the different ways that I hold my brush to clean up the edges and fill in the gaps. For fine lines like this, you can either use a smaller brush or you can use the tip and a very light hand of the brush that you are using. To create thicker lines, add more pressure, and to create thinner lines, use less pressure. Or use more of the brush for thicker lines and less of the brush and more towards the tip for the thinner lines. To blend two colors together, make sure that both colors are wet, and then you can take your paintbrush and go right along the middle line where they meet, and this will blend them together. You'll notice again that I'm holding my brush completely upright to create those finer lines. I'm just adding a little blob of white for a sun, and taking some dark purple to go into the shadows of the clouds. I'm using little flicks to create the illusion of fluffy clouds. And for clouds further away in the distance, I'm again using those fine line techniques of holding my brush upright and using a gentle pressure on the tip. And to make it a little bit easier, I'm using a smaller brush. Another tip to create a straight line is to use a square or flat brush, and that way you can use the tip of that to create very straight lines. Its natural shape being straight makes it a lot easier. Using the same brush on a different angle, I can create little trees that look very far away in the distance on the horizon. And this next part will be very satisfying. And this is our completed piece. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, leave a comment of what you want to see next, and subscribe to see more. Thanks for watching.